Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA, and today we've got a package that contains something that we have never taken a look at on this channel before, and it actually comes to me from a subscriber who had kind of reached out asking about some YouTube advice, and then we kind of started chatting, and I found out, in addition to being a pretty badass tattoo artist, Jason Grant, yes, we do share a last name, no, we are not related, also operates Brass Brigade, which is a place where he makes custom knives. So he asked me if I wanted to take a look at one, and of course, I said yes. Now, I do like knives, and yes, I did used to watch a certain show where they would forge knives and swords, but it is a rabbit hole that I never fully went down, but I think it might be time to diversify yet again. So let's take out my cheap knife and open up a very nice knife. Now, I believe inside this package he also included all of the specs on the build. So we should have all of the materials and whatnot on this. He did give me an option of a couple different knives that he had made, and actually I think this one he said was actually a customer that made an order and then canceled it on him, and it is an amazing knife, so I'm glad they canceled. Thank you for doing so, because now I get to have it, and I am very, very much so looking forward to laying eyes on this for the very first time. Okay, and also has the Kydex sheath that comes with it. Oh, he's got a couple extra goodies in here. Now, he is from Southern California, so we do have a traditional logo that might look familiar if you are from the skateboard world. We also have another color option. And then we have one more. And then we also have our little note in here that I believe should have all of the specs. But first, we gotta do it. We gotta take a look at it. Oh, wow. That is nice. Now, I don't know if camera B is picking up on it, but the scales are OD and brown, which I believe he said this is a vintage canvas. I'm sure it's all in the specs, but I am an OD guy. Also, the Kydex sheath is also olive. If this might be the first time you're stumbling on my channel, in another lifetime, I worked at an Army-Navy store for a very long time, for about 15 years. So I love olive drab, I love woodland, and I love the chocolate chip camel. But we do have a custom-made Kydex sheath for the knife. I mean, you can see it is made for the knife. You can see the actual imprintation of the blade in the Kydex. There's the blade. See the imprintation. Locks in there. You hear that little click. So, I mean, it has a little bit of jiggle, but it's not going to fall out. Move my hand just in case, but yeah, see, it's not going to fall out. So it's in there snugly, and it comes out nice and smooth. All right, let's take a look at the note here. This should have all the specs that we could tell you exactly what went into making this beautiful knife. Okay, here's a little spec sheet for the fixed blade I'm sending you. Thanks for taking the time to check it out, Jason. Now, these are 100% American made. The bolts, the hardware, the steel, the Kydex, even the grinding machine that he used are US made. Also, his heat treat oven is US made. So, the Kydex sheath, the bolts, the hardware, the steel, bolts and scales on the knife, everything is US made, including, he said, the grinder that he uses to grind these down, and the his oven to and his heat treat oven are all US made. So, and these are made, he's from Southern California, so he is in America, making these in America with US made material. So all the specs are, or all the materials are US made, which is nice. Now, the knife specs, the blade steel, I might say this incorrectly, so I do apologize. Someone correct me down below, so when I do the full review of this, I could make sure I get it right. So the blade steel is an 80 Cruise. I can't tell if that's a Z or a 2, so I think it's 80 CRU, either 2 or Z. Again, I'm just getting into the knife game, so I'm not fully up on all of the specs, especially on steel. The canvas micarta handle with 610 OD green liner. So that's what I said. I think this brown is actual canvas, and I think he said it was vintage canvas, and then the inside is an OD green. So these I'm putting to the wrong side. So that's an olive drab, and you can see the actual blade. It's a fixed blade, so that's the steel sandwiched in the middle. I'm looking off to the monitor to make sure what I'm pointing at is what I mean to show you. Every blade he makes is one of a kind, so he might make something similar, but I've seen he's got an IG channel. There is a link in the description box down below, or I'm sorry, an IG account, where he actually posts pictures and videos of the builds that he does and like the scales. So he might make a similar knife in the shape, but all the little details he does them are all different, and they all have different scales on them. So everything that you'll see on his Instagram, it's all unique, and he sells them, so they're all going to be for sale. So everything is going to be unique, and I think he puts prices on his IG as well. He's also made a couple of production knives called the Grant Gripper and Tripper. I like the name because, again, we share a last name. Not related, though. I don't know, maybe we are. I'll have to find out. I do have a cousin that lives in Southern California, although she is from the other side of my family, so even before she was married, her name was not Grant. Here's a couple of facts about Jason. He has been tattooing for 34 years. He was a pro skateboarder before that, which making sense now. I have been skateboarding for myself for about 30 years, never a pro. I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can find some old skate pictures. I'm sure if he was a pro, I have seen his name before, and I've probably read about him in some skate mags. Before that, he was a master class competitive shooter, and he has an amazing family. And I follow his personal account as well as his Brass Brigade for his knives. And yeah, he's got a beautiful family. He has some pretty sick tattoos out there. I'm not gonna lie. If I do make it out to the West Coast again, I will most certainly be looking him up and trying to add to my collection, although I haven't been getting tattooed in the past couple of years because an old guy once said this to me. I was in a tattoo shop waiting to get tattooed, and he told me, get tattooed now while you're young, because the older you get, the more it hurts. And the last time I got tattooed, holy shit, it hurts so bad. So it does hurt much, much more the older you get. So yeah, I haven't gotten tattooed much in the recent years, but I will certainly take one for the team if I am out in Southern California. But the knife itself, this thing is amazing. Again, it has a little bit of weight to it, which I like. I'm not going to forget that I have this on me. Now, I generally EDC a folding knife. Now, this is actually a cheap one. This is just one from Walmart. I used to carry CRK knives all the time, which I really like. But I lost a couple of pins in my last one, and they will send you free parts. But while I was waiting for the screws to come in, this was like $7 at Walmart, and I just needed a knife to throw in my pocket. And I've since fixed that knife. I like this though because it's a little bit smaller, and it sits in my pocket. But this is seriously like a $7 knife. Now, I use it to cut open boxes at work and cut open packages, so I don't want to or need to carry an expensive knife for that kind of stuff. But I think it is time to up my EDC knife carry game to something a little bit cooler, a little bit more custom, and certainly a lot more badass. So, Jason, thank you for reaching out to me. I hope the advice that I gave you was useful. I certainly know this knife is going to be very useful, so I will be EDCing this thing. I'm going to swap it out for my very cheap Walmart knife and using something that is far superior. This thing it's a work of art. It just looks amazing and badass. I don't know what else to say besides this thing is awesome. So if you're looking at any of the Brass Brigade knives, you found his IG and that's how you found this channel, without even using this thing on the daily yet, like it's awesome. I can already see like the quality and the craftsmanship that went into this is badass. This thing is sweet. So Jason, thank you very much for trusting me to take a look at one of your custom knives. And yeah, stay tuned. We will be doing a full review on this puppy shortly. I can't wait to even cut open a box. I just want to use this on something. So I'm hoping at work tomorrow I have to crack open some products so I can start using this thing. But I'm sure I will end up using it within the next day or two because, like I said earlier, I'm almost always using a knife for something, opening something, cracking a box, a package, whether it be for the channel, whether it be at work, whether it be for Miss Hazel Fantastic. Yeah, there's almost always a need for a knife in your pocket. So if you're going to carry a knife, you might as well carry something nice, especially something that is as nice as this. And yeah, if you're going to use it, use something worthy. So with that, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.